This is how I turned this into this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ramen, and we're back with another smooth R&B breakdown. Usually I just kind of show the sample and just leave it at that and let y'all go crazy with it, but I just wanted to like kind of flex this beat real quick because I really like this one. So hopefully y'all learn something too. If y'all mess with it though, I'm gonna put the stems in the description below so y'all can still put your flavor on that, do whatever you want. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this. So right now we got the piano that I started everything off with this. If you want to take these chords, man, feel free. Go crazy with these chords, by the way. I always like to show these so people can get an idea of what they can start off with if they want to make a vibe like this. But anyways, this is what this piano sounds like by itself, just without anything else. So the first piece we're breaking down is this really dope synth that I have in my collection. This one's more like high pitched and more kind of in the upper range. And I wanted that because I knew like later down I wanted to put more like lower tones and mid vibes in the track. And to account for that, I took all the root notes and just brought them up. So that's kind of why it looks a little different than what I had in the piano. And this is what this sounds like. Now the next piece we got is probably like my favorite individual instrument of the track. This one's a lot more on the lower end, and that's why I love it so much. This is what this joint sounds like. Now this next piece is actually a synth that I use in a lot of my other samples, and I like to use it as kind of a mixture of like a layering instrument, but also more like a texture. So it kind of just sits there. It just gives it a bit more character to anything that I add to it. This is what this joint sounds like. Now at this point, I felt like I needed like a solid, strong, smooth, hard-hitting bass that could kind of accompany everything else that's going along with it. So this is what this bass sounds like with it. Now let's move on to the drums. First, I'll just play the drums just by themselves, and then I'll kind of break down what I was thinking about with each instrument. Basically, for the hats, I was thinking of kind of a mixture of like triplets and trying to like double time it, which is kind of why it has this little bounce right here. With the snare specifically, I wanted a nice solid bounce, and I feel like I always struggle with that in earlier samples. And I found out what helped me really get that bounce that I was looking for is using a mixture of kind of like adjusting the velocity, so each snare is gonna hit a little bit differently than the other, and also just kind of like messing around with like the notes and just giving it a bit more vibe to it. The kick is pretty straightforward with R&B. Depending on what's going on in the track, you either want a lot of kicks or little. Really up to your choice. This one I kind of did more of a less. Threw in an open hat just because I love open hats. I threw in a perk that kind of sits like more in the background, and I like chopped it up, edited it a little bit. And then on top of all of those drums, I threw in a little perk loop just because, again, perk loops always help with bounce. Then I also threw in a nice little background perk loop that's just really more kind of to help the bounce a little bit. Lastly, we're breaking down the vocals. So for the vocal chain, the first thing I did was use this fruity EQ. I switched between this and the Pro Q, just really depends on my mood. But this is just kind of what the preset looks like for it that I used. Threw in some little Alter Boy just to pretty much pitch it down a little bit. And then just a little bit of Valhalla Vintage Verb, really using the default preset. Then I used the time knob to stretch it a little bit, just to have it match the BPM of the track. And this is what this sounds like. And all together, it's a little something like this. And that's the breakdown, fam. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that. Love making it, love doing something like this. Like I said below, I'm going to put the stems in the description below if you want to go crazy with that. I might throw in the drums there too, maybe, if you just kind of want to take the drums and do your own spin with that too. Who knows? But, anyways, yeah, appreciate y'all.